Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the weekly live chat every Wednesday, usually at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, but today, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys all for joining me. There's plenty to talk about, even though we've been starved of MMA for a few weeks. It seems like eternity since the last UFC card. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this stream, comment down below if you have any questions. Maybe we'll talk about them next week, or we will talk about them next week. We have plenty to talk about. There's some Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier stuff going on, whether or not they may fight very, very soon. We'll talk about UFC 271 in general, which is Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. Joanna Jedrzejczyk is saying she is targeting a return against Weili Zhang too. And whatever else you guys come up with. Just throw your questions in the chat, and I will get to them. So we can at least get, hopefully, eventually this channel is going to grow where it's going to be hard to read every single question. So enjoy it for the next, for maybe 2022, and maybe next year it's going to be where I have to kind of pick and choose. So enjoy it for now. Guys, I want to thank every one of you guys for supporting me. Don't forget to like the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, this is the first time you come across my channel, go subscribe and turn on notifications. Currently, it is January 5th, 2022, and we have 1,910 subscribers. I am 90 subscribers away from hitting 2,000, which is a big goal of mine to hit 2,000 subscribers. I'll actually put the sub count on the screen. I've told you guys, but I'll tell you again. If you guys publicly subscribe to the channel while watching a stream, it will pop up in the top hand corner. I don't remember which corner it is. If you guys become a member of the channel to support the channel, it'll pop up on screen as well with your name and your message. And if you send a super chat donation, it will do the same. I set up that maybe a month or a month and a half ago. If you guys want to become a member, the link is in the description. It's just a way to support the channel. We got a bunch of custom emojis, including Hamza Chimaev, Habib Nurmagomedov, and Sleepy Conor McGregor, as well as Joshua Fabia. And also we have a members only Discord, and I post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff of what videos I'm working on and all that stuff. So if you want to support the channel, the link is in the description. But now that is all out of the way, let's get to all the questions, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. What do you think the best game plan is for Max to win the trilogy? That is an excellent question, because I feel like the fights have been very close, but I have scored them for Volk. And this is going to sound crazy. I think the path to beat Volkanovski, and I know this is going to sound insane, Max has to have more output. Max is known for his volume and his output, and I feel like in both Volkanovski's fights, he's been a little bit worried about Volkanovski's power. Volkanovski is very, very powerful, and I feel like Max is a little bit worried, and he doesn't have as much output in the fights. And I really think he needs to go out there and decisively win these rounds. And if the output's undeniable, there's no doubt he could win the rounds. That's how he wins fights. Max Holloway wins fights by putting the pace on guys and just nonstop volume, shots, jabs, punches, kicks, all that stuff. He needs to go out there and just put a pace on Volkanovski, not worry about the counters, not worry about the power of Volk. Easier said than done. But other than that, I don't know how he beats him, because Volk is so technical. Volk has a very high fight IQ. Volk has better grappling, in my opinion. Volk has great submission defense, and it's not like Max had some world-class, he's not some world-class submission artist. So I really think, to answer your question, Max has to go out there and put the pace on him. Go back and watch those two fights. He didn't do it in those fights. He was a little bit tentative. And I think it was because worried of the takedowns and the power of Volkanovski, the power more than the takedowns. And it's just not your typical Max Holloway like you've seen recently in the Yair Rodriguez fight. And, it's going to be a tough fight to win. Honestly, it's a tough fight to win. Volkanovski's so good. I picked Volkanovski in both fights. I thought the second fight was a lot closer than the first. I think, I respect everybody's opinion. But I think if you thought Max won the first fight, you're just biased for Max Holloway. I thought the first fight was pretty clear-cut. It was pretty close. It was very competitive. But I didn't think it was up for debate. Second fight was up for debate for sure. It was razor thin of a margins for both guys. I think I scored 3, 4, and 5 for Volk in the second fight, and 1 and 2 for Max. Volk 49-46, Yan third round TKO. What are you answering there? What are you answering? Are you answering Volk's going to beat Max, and then you're saying Piotr Jan versus Aljamain Sterling 3rd round TKO? I could see both of those if that's what you're saying. I think Volk has only gotten better since that second fight with Max. So, he's just super technical. He's super durable. He's super powerful. He's super well-rounded. He has a super high fight IQ. There's just very little weaknesses with Volkanovski. Early Dariush versus Makhachev prediction. I think Makhachev is probably going to get it done. It's a tough matchup because both guys are very similar, but I just think Makhachev is going to have the better grappling. I think he'll be able to out-grapple Dariush, probably control him on the ground, probably not be able to get a submission off, but he'll probably be able to eke out a decision. I'll probably go Islam Makhachev by decision. UFC always gives us weak January and February cards and stacked matchups. UFC 270 and 271 need bigger fights. I don't know if that's always the case. I remember not that long ago. I mean, I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago. We had Anderson Silva versus Nate Diaz. We had Jones versus DC1. And we had Conor McGregor versus Dennis Seaver all in 1 month. So, that was all in January. God, my nose itches like crazy already, and I'm just starting. But I hope they do. I know a lot of people went off after Christmas. And so maybe that could be the reasons why sometimes the January cards end up a little lackluster. I wish they would add, to 270 and 271. I don't think they're the worst cards ever. I still love the main events, but I wish they would add a little something extra to the cards. Joey, perhaps you're not woke enough to enjoy the Lee fight. What do you mean, Kevin Lee? I have returned. What's up, Dino? If Max loses to Volk 3 times on paper, what will his legacy at 145 be? I think it's the same. I think it hasn't changed. I think he's one of the top featherweights of all time, but I think Volk has already surpassed him. He beat Aldo. He beat Mendes as far as Volk did. Beat Max now 3 times. Beat Brian Ortega. So I think Volk is 1 or 2 fights away from claiming, possibly featherweight GOAT status. Volk beats Max again. He has more tools and power. Agreed. I'm with you. If Max wins, what does the UFC do with Volk? He would definitely be calling for an immediate rematch. If Max wins a close decision and they don't give Volk a rematch, I'm rioting. If Aljo brings a better pace and gas tank to the end rematch, he can win that fight. I think Aljo's best opportunity to defeat Piotr Jan is to really crowd him early and land a nasty power shot. Because that's when he had success in that first and second round against Piotr Jan, was crowding him, throwing a lot of volume, throwing some flying knees, throwing spinning back fists with heavy power. And I think that's what he needs to do if he wants to win the fight. I just don't see it happening. Piotr Jan, he gets dialed in that first and second round, and then next thing you know, he is just making little adjustments and just dominating the guy. It just happens right before your eyes. Fight's very competitive in that first, second round. It happens in pretty much every fight he's in. He sees what's going on, he digests what's going on, he makes adjustments, and then he ends up winning those later rounds. We've seen it just recently against Corey Sandhagen. First 2 rounds were much more competitive than the last 3. We've seen it in the Jose Aldo fight. Same thing. We've seen it in the Aljo fight, the original fight where he got DQ'd. So I think Aljo has a shot, but it's a very slim shot. What's up? Keep out. Hope you're doing well. Joey, an hour ago they announced Holloway versus Volk and Jan Sterling. What? Did I miss this? I haven't been looking online. Nobody told me this. I see what you guys were talking about early, but I didn't realize. No, 272. I seen that. Now. Dang, you guys didn't even tell me. I know we were talking about it, but I didn't even realize that. See? Trilogy is on. Round 11 through 15 will take place 272 March 5th per Dana White. Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. 2 of the best in the world, pound for pound, huge stakes. That's crazy. So it's going to be both of those, main and co-main. Where's your message? Oh my, I'm done homework. I missed it. I didn't even see that. How did I miss that? Damn it. That's crazy. Well, at least we were talking about it anyway, but I didn't even realize it was announced. I hadn't been online for the last 2 hours. Ooh, 272 is looking really, really good. Looking really, really good. I thought Sterling versus Yan might be on the where was it? UFC 273. So let me add this actually to my title. UFC 272. Volkanovski versus Holloway 3. Let's get rid of this. I'm just adjusting my title real quick, guys. Just because I'm going to forget to afterwards. But at least we were talking about it, so that's pretty good. I'm hyped for that card. It's March 5th, UFC 272. 2 phenomenal fights on there. Volkanovski versus Holloway finally booked. Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. What are you guys more excited for? Let me actually put that in the poll. What are you more excited for? I can't believe I missed your message, Homework. Sometimes that just happens. I don't know how I do it. Volkanovski versus Holloway 3. Petr Yan versus Aljo Sterling. Okay, guys, go vote in the poll. That's crazy. The UFC abandons Nate and Poirier? I guess so. If they book Hamza in March, that's like 5 months of waiting since his last fight ended. It makes no sense. He wants to fight every week. Yeah, I wonder how true that is. I'm missing some questions. Let me go back. But yeah, so thanks for letting me know, Homework. Thanks for letting me know, Yusuf. I missed that. I was not online at all, and I just jumped right on the live chat. That's insane. I can't wait for that card. I hope they still do Dustin versus Nate on UFC 271. How do you feel about all the title rematches that are coming and that we had in 2021? I actually, sometimes I hate rematches, but these ones, I love them all. So this year, what do we got coming up? We got Nunes versus Pena 2. We got Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling 2. We got Volkanovski versus Holloway 3. I mean, I know that's technically not a rematch, but I guess it is still, even though it's a trilogy. What else? What other 3 are we talking about here? I mean, what other ones are we talking about? Like, heavyweight's not a rematch. Middleweight, so Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. Welterweight, Usman versus Leon. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Lightweight, Charles versus Gaethje never happened. Featherweight already said. Bantamweight already said. Oh, my goodness. Trilogy between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. So there's 6. And then women's 7, because we got Carla Esparza versus Rose. Holy moly, 7 rematches at least. At least. And that depends what happens at women's flyweight and women's featherweight. If there's any other. So there's 7 rematches. Holy crap. Okay. I don't mind them. I love all the fights. I think we're living in an amazing MMA world right now. I mean, this is some of the best fights that we will ever see. Look at all these amazing matchups we're getting. And they're all highly competitive too. I think these rematches are all super compelling, other than the Brandon Moreno, Deiveson Figueiredo. Who do you want to see Hamza fight? I want to see Hamza fight Gilbert Burns, but I would settle for Bilal Muhammad. I think Gilbert Burns is his toughest test. If he beats Gilbert Burns, I want to see him fight for a title. But I think Hamza Chimaev versus Bilal. I definitely don't want to see Hamza versus Neil Magny. I have no desire to see that fight whatsoever. I think something that would help MMA GOAT conversation is to have a GOAT for each division. What do you think? Yeah, that's what I usually say. When people ask me who's the GOAT, I say Khabib's the lightweight GOAT, but I don't think he's the overall GOAT. So, I mean, the conversation is just highly subjective. To me, it sounds like most fighters are saying they want to fight around March or April. You skipped my message. Sorry about that. If they book Hamza in March, that's like 5 months. Yeah, they better not wait till March. What's annoying is what is going on there? Somebody's not telling the truth. Whether it be the UFC or Hamza himself, somebody's not telling the truth because he's saying he wants to get back in there ASAP, and it's just not happening. And he's a star, and I just don't understand why they wouldn't get him back in there as soon as possible. Do you think Paige will have anything for Amosov? Probably not, honestly. When is that fight? What's the date on that one, Earth Rocker? But Amosov's grappling is just too good, and Michael Venom Page's grappling is just awful. He's able to be controlled on the ground. Amosov's incredible. I think he'll out-wrestle him and control him on the ground and win the fight. I thought Max won the second fight, but Volk got better and figured Max out and beat him up every time. So I'm more excited for Yan versus Aljo. Yeah, I asked the question in the poll. And let's see what everyone's saying. So it looks like Volkanovski Holloway 3. I didn't give my answer yet because I started catching up on the messages. I am more excited for Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. And what's crazy about that is I think Volkanovski Holloway 3 is more competitive on paper. But I just love Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. We're finally going to get some resolution to the bantamweight division. And that's what I need to see. That's what I absolutely need to see. I thought Max won the second fight and Volk got better. Okay. Adesanya Whittaker 2. Don't forget Lane versus Perry. Stop it. Stop it. What is this guy saying? Does Whittaker have the skills to close the distance against Adesanya and take him to wrestling school? I think it's a possibility, but I doubt it happens, man. Adesanya is just so good with his footwork. The way he dodges guys as they're moving in and gets out of the way and cuts angles. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it. But I think he has the skills. It's just, is it his night or not? I don't know yet. How come Volkanovski Holloway have a trilogy while Rousey Tate did not? Because the Rousey wins were dominant. Joey, how long until we see Valentina at bantamweight, as I want to see her challenged? I hope in 2022, honestly. Valentina will probably fight a rematch this year if she wants to be active. Very true. Also, we have to see where Kayla goes. I believe she ends up in the UFC. Guys, in another YouTube, I got a message that's hidden. Guys, in another YouTube channel, there's a deformed kid broadcasting, and me and my boys are all in there. Come on, dude. What is that about? I don't even understand what that's about, man. Dale, we don't want to pick on some kid broadcasting. There's a hidden message here. I'm not even going to unhide it. There's no need to even read that. He wants us to go pick on somebody who's live streaming. I'm not down with that at all. Go unsubscribe, Dale Clark. And don't come into my channel, trying to get people to leave and go harass somebody. That's not what we're about here. It's got to be the UFC. I mean, you can make fun of people, but you're saying he's deformed. I mean, you're making fun of a deformity of a guy. I don't find that. I don't really find that too funny. So, I don't understand why you're trying to recruit people from here to go make fun of somebody else when we're here discussing all the news about MMA. Okay, I will. I mean, I don't understand how am I supposed to anyway. I'm live streaming, so. Okay, it's got to be the UFC holding up Hamza. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. There's something amiss with the Hamza situation. Yeah, I think the UFC being very picky, and he doesn't help. Ali is holding back his fighters from fighting Hamza. Yeah, I wonder. Isn't it funny? Hamza was managed by Ali at one point, and then he moved on to a different management. So I wonder what kind of dynamic goes on there between Hamza and Ali and all them, because we know Ali can be very vindictive. Stop. All right, let's just put user. Yeah, I went and got rid of him anyway. I put him in timeout. There's just no need. I don't understand that. I just don't get it. Why would you come in here and say that? We're talking about MMA here. Yeah, I don't. Have you seen him before, Capper? Have you seen him before? I'm not down with that, I'm all for having a little bit of fun. It's not like I'm never quick to like block somebody or anything like that. But just I don't get it, man. I really can't. I really don't get it. For me, and I've talked about it on the channel before, I'm never one to get butthurt from criticisms or anyone saying anything about me personally. But to come into somebody else's YouTube live stream and say, hey guys, come with me and pick on someone online. Yeah, well, what does that achieve? Who's that fun for? It wouldn't be fun for me. It's not fun for that guy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not even going to spend any more time on it. I truly don't understand it because I don't find it funny. Joey, do you ever get a member by name of Chimp from time to time in your live streams? I don't remember. I turned it to subscribers only, and I've got a lot less trolls since I turned it to subscribers only. So Dale Clark must be subscribed. I put him in a timeout. You know, I'm never quick to super, block somebody. But we'll see what happens now. He's going to go recruit his buddies to come in here now. Guaranteed. So if we see my subscriber counter go up by like 10 people all of a sudden out of nowhere, we know he's coming in here. I'm just not down with it. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all, but I just think it is what it is. All right, let's get back to talking about the fight. So for me personally, I'm more excited for Petr Yan versus, let's see, Usman Hussein. Thank you for subscribing if you're not a troll. Yeah, definitely. That's probably him right there. Usman Hussein is probably him. I don't know though. I don't wanna single him out. But guys, by the way, did you see I did a video criticizing Khabib Nurmagomedov's matchmaking for Eagle FC, and people's heads exploded. But again, whether you agree with me or not, even if you're in here and you disagree with what I had to say in that video, we can easily respectfully disagree. I don't care if somebody disagrees with me or not. That's awesome. We can have fun discussion about it. There is people that are losing their minds that I said he made absolutely terrible matchups in Eagle FC. What other fights do you think will be on Volk Max card? I'm hoping maybe a Jose Aldo, TJ Dillashaw. I would love that. And I mean, there's just so many great fights. I see you on every hump. Okay. No, we were talking about someone else, man, and your name just happened to pop up when it happened. I'm going to end this poll real quick. We don't need it anymore. But I would hope for a Jose Aldo, TJ Dillashaw fight on that card as well. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank right now, so I apologize for you. But I would love for that to be on there. I would love. I really can't. I'm having a total brain fart right now. I can't think of any other fights. I would love a Hamza Chimaev fight on that card. That is on. All right, I got a feeling we're about to get some trolls in here for sure. All of a sudden, 5 people subscribed simultaneously, and after that troll just came in here. Now all of a sudden, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Okay. What's up, Space Droid? What's up, Cyber Power? Max vs. Volkanovski 3 is going to be crazy. I'm hyped. For me, I am super excited for Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski, because what gets me most excited, I know a lot of people love these storylines and these beefs back and forth, but for me, what personally excites me is high-level MMA. And Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway are two of the best 145ers in the world. And I cannot wait to see. They had 2 very close high-level fights, very exciting fights. Unless you really want an absolute brawl, then, they were super exciting fights. And I love to see them go at it again. I just don't know what's going to happen. Look, King Dale Clark just subscribed. Get ready, guys. This is funny. I guess he got his 2 friends to come in here too. I guarantee it. That's hilarious though. Subscribe. Just make sure you unsubscribe to the channel if you're not going to watch the videos. Hey guys, remember that physically deformed person we were all mocking? He's streaming again. Come on. All right, there you go. He's banned again. Come on, man. We don't need that. Like, why would he waste his time to do that? But yeah, 2 high-level fighters going at it. Can't wait for it. Keep the questions coming, guys. I think Rose versus Carla gets added to that card. I don't know. They're going to New York at 273, and I thought Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling would be in there. What's annoying is, yeah, he definitely has burners. I think a couple of these were him, to be quite honest. But luckily I seen it coming. Look, unsubscribe. You seen that? Okay. What the hell? The chat's growing. It seems like, the last few weeks we've had about 30 to 40 people in the chat at one time. Now I'm getting distracted by these guys, so I'm going to get back to these questions. I think Rose vs. Carly gets added to that card. I could totally see that as well, just because neither one of those title fights are huge draws as far as pay-per-view sales. But I believe that it's possible they save it for UFC 273 because they're going to need a co-main on there. And I don't know what they're going to put as the main event for 273 just yet. And I think 274 will probably be Oliveira versus Gaethje. How do you feel about fighters that pop for BEDs? And since we were talking about it, Dillashaw specifically. Dillashaw is an absolute cheater. I think he should have to win quite a few fights to get back to the title. I think he's been using EPO his whole entire career. I think he ruined Hendon Barao. I think he ruined Cody Garbrandt. And I think it's disgusting, especially considering he's injecting it to his body. With that being said, I know sometimes there's a double standard. Like for me, it's hard for me to go crazy about Anderson Silva, even though I know that he was caught as well. So it's like some of these guys, either way, I can't stand cheaters. That's basically to sum it up. But sometimes there is a little bit of a double standard, and I get that. I understand why. But Dillashaw, the fact that he's trying to... I think what was particularly disgusting about TJ is, and I made a video about this on the channel when I first started the channel, people gave Dillashaw a pass. They said he owned up to it. Well, he tested positive for something that he can only inject into his body. What other choice did he have other than own up to it? He had no choice. I want to see Giga versus Volk. Agreed, Nunes. I really want to see Giga versus Volk as well. And I did a video called Every Champion to Lose Their Belt in 2022. And I talk about a potential Volkanovski versus Giga matchup. Look, we got another troll in here too. But luckily I got it where it's held on. All right, I'm just going to just block everyone that's sending dumb shit in here. Guys, let's see. Who do I got in here? Guys, I'm trying to keep up with the questions. Sean Johnson, can you do me a favor? If you see, I'm going to add you as a moderator for now. And if you see any of these guys sending crazy messages, because sometimes I'm not all the way at the bottom, so I can't see every message that's sent. Can you do me a favor and just hit hide user from this channel? Only if they're saying something crazy. It'll automatically flag messages that seem weird. But just so I can stay up and read the questions and I don't have to constantly come down and check and make sure. So if Sean Johnson, you can do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. I just added you as a moderator since you're always in here and you can help me out with that right now. Let's see. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it, man. If you see anything crazy, just go ahead and hide user from channel. I don't appreciate that. I'm making like 5 or 6, YouTube troll channels. What the hell is going on here? Okay, let's get back to what we're saying. So I can't stand cheaters. I want to see Giga Chikadze versus Alexander Volkanovski. What do you think of Umar Nurmagomedov getting a new opponent according to Javier Mendes instead of the Jack Shore fight for some odd reason? I found it very strange. Maybe the UFC decided they didn't want to not kill one of them off. But I was really looking forward to that fight, and I'm kind of sad that it's canceled. And, I guess it is what it is. That way the UFC can kind of build them up, and maybe we'll see them fight in the future when they're considered a little bit more high level. But I'm disappointed in it, and the UFC and them have given no reason for why that fight was canceled. I hope Max wins. He's one of my favorites. I love Max too. I don't really have a preference on who wins. I like Volkanovski just as much. But if Max wins, do we get a 4th fight? That's the real question. Yeah, dude has burner YouTube accounts. Very sad. Yeah, I'm sure he'll probably come in with another one. I'm a wolf brother. I go where I please. Yeah, homework. We know homework is #1 Hamza Chimaev fan, brother. Derek Lewis versus Stipe for #1 contender. Who wins? My heart tells me Stipe Miocic, but something just tells me not to count Derek Lewis out. Derek Lewis just has that nasty, filthy power. So I'll go Stipe Miocic for now, but I might change my mind. Yeah, he made another troll account. Stipe wins. Yeah, Stipe should win. Oh my God, Jamal Hill. We were actually talking about this in the members only Discord chat. Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker is an amazing stylistic matchup. Absolutely phenomenal matchmaking by the UFC. Jamal Hill has crazy good striking. Johnny Walker is crazy unique. And I absolutely love that fight. And that's not even going to be the main event. Both guys are somewhat promising prospects within the light heavyweight division. I know Johnny Walker kind of blew up and then all of a sudden he crashed and burned. But I love Johnny Walker versus Jamal Hill. I would probably go Jamal Hill in that fight. I don't trust Johnny Walker to do anything anymore. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Johnny Walker did a whole lot of fainting in that Thiago Santos fight. What's your favorite fight on January 15th besides Giga Chikadze? Let me look up the card. There's a couple decent fights on there, but I think a couple fights got canceled, which is kind of annoying. So other than the main event, honestly, let me take a look before I speak too early. Honestly, probably Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin. I think that's a more relevant fight. I like the Michel Pereira fight versus Muslim, but I think Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin, I think both of those are very high-level flyweights that could eventually kind of make a splash within the division as they grow and learn and get better. Any Hamza news? Not yet. There's got to be soon, right? They got to be working on a Leon Edwards fight. That's what I'm guessing, and Leon's kind of using them to negotiate. So we'll see. I could see Yuri versus Glover and Juliana versus Valentin. Yeah, I'm surprised Valentin ain't begging to go up to 135 right now. For 135, for 173, I mean. I could see that. Yeah, Leon getting a title shot. I hope so. They never found anything from his previous test after he got caught, though. He only cheated for Cejudo. No. That's what they say, but who knows if it wasn't. I mean, he could have just been out of his system for those other tests. You know, those other. Because he got caught with one test and not caught for the other test doesn't mean, you know, there's an old saying. How does it go? You know, when you catch someone stealing from you, right? And it's the first time you caught him stealing. Is that the first time you caught him stealing? Or is that the first time they stole? Or is it the first time they got caught? And I believe he could have cheated for the whole time. He had it down to an art. Obviously, he wasn't getting caught for years if he was doing it. So, he just did it one time and happened to get caught. No way. I don't buy that for 1 second. Even if he didn't cheat for his whole career, I believe he was cheating for a while. So I don't like that excuse that says, oh, they checked the other test. Well, he could have got around. He could have cycled off before those other tests. So I don't buy that at all. At least TJ's only drinking clean juice now. Yeah, I bet you he might still be cheating. Hamza going to smoke Bilal so hard. I think so too. I would favor Hamza over Bilal. Am I the only one? Oh my goodness, I just lost my spot. Am I the only one hyped to see Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva? No, I've actually talked about it on the channel. That's an amazing matchup. Bruno Silva getting that big win recently. Alex Pereira, interesting prospect at middleweight. I want to see him versus Adesanya. I kind of hope the UFC does selective matchmaking with him. Don't put him against Vettori. Don't put him against Robert Whittaker. Let him beat some names, but let's keep him away from them grapplers for now. There's only a couple of them within the division that can, you know, really are heavy grapplers. And let's see that Adesanya fight in MMA in the UFC. Would love that fight, absolutely. When I saw Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva, I got hyped for that. That's one of those low-key fights that nobody talks about, but I love it. Hamza Bilal is going to be fire. I don't care what anyone says. I would love it. I favor Hamza, but I would love the fight. Hamza's not going to hurt him bad. I mean, I'd pick it. I'm on Hamza's hype train, but to say he's definitely going to smoke him bad, I think is a little bit bold. He will put up a fight. I think Hamza wins, though. I agree, too. I don't know why this opponent hasn't been announced yet. Yeah, I don't get it. They must be working on something big, and they're having trouble negotiating with his opponent. Who should Alex Pereira fight in order to get to Izzy? So if he beats Bruno Silva, he definitely deserves someone in the top 10. So if he beats Bruno Silva, see, I don't want it to take him 4 fights to get to the title. So if he beats Bruno Silva, let him fight. the winner of Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermanson. That'd be a good fight, and then the winner of that fight fights for a title. I say that's what happens. I know that's a big leap. You know, he's going from unranked to one fight to a title shot. But let him beat up Bruno Silva if he does, which I think he will. And then let him fight the winner of Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermanson. Everyone else has already had their turn. Paulo Costa had his turn. Derek Brunson had his turn, kind of. Jared Cannonier hasn't yet, but I think Adesanya absolutely smokes Jared Cannonier. Vettori will have fought him twice at that point. Whittaker will have fought him twice at that point. Let Strickland, Hermanson fight Alex Pereira to decide the next contender in 2022. Would absolutely love it. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. Click the like button, please. Greatly appreciate it. I thought Javier Mendes said Ali pulled him out of the fight. I wonder why, if that's true. I wonder if that's true. Alex Pereira versus Bruno Silva is going to be a good one for sure. No, me versus Homework, MSG, 5-round. Oh, you guys are both the #1 Hamza fans. Dude, Hamzat's got a nice following, you know. I'm thinking about, I'm going to do a video about him soon, probably. Dissecting whether or not I think he's overrated. It's just an idea. I might do it. I might not. I don't know yet. Am I the only person picking Walker? Let's find out. Who are you picking? Let's do a poll in the chat. Who are you picking? Johnny Walker, Jamal Hill. I think I spelled Jamal Hill's name wrong, but oh well. Let's find out. What fight do you want to see added to 271? Dustin versus Nate Diaz is the fight that I want to see added to 271. I think it's a real possibility, and I hope that we're going to be pleasantly surprised. If Alex Pereira wants the next title fight, he probably has to fight Derek Brunson. Dude, I don't want to see him fight Derek Brunson. Please, no. Derek Brunson will probably beat him. Derek Brunson's underrated as anything. People act like he's some kind of bum because his striking is absolutely god-awful. But his grappling, his ground and pound is really good. If Alex Pereira wants the next fight, he should. Okay. Who's the biggest El Kukui fan in here? We'll see. I don't think he's here, but Torrin Brown. That's the only thing he asks about is Tony Ferguson, Tony Ferguson, Tony Ferguson. So I go Torrin Brown. That's my vote. But I'm a huge fan too. I don't see that happening. What do you think about the Zingano versus Cyborg fight? Don't really care all that much. I think Cyborg brutalizes her, to be honest. If Johnny Walker didn't get injured doing the worm, he would have been champ. Yeah. What an idiot. What an idiot. Islam versus Belil. Who wins? I think Islam wins a gritty decision, takes him down, beats him up, holds him down for 5 rounds. But Neil holds his own, but neither guy can submit the other. I'll go Islam Makhachev by decision. SBG Ireland told Lost that Thiago Santos fight for Johnny Walker by telling him that he was ahead on the scorecard to keep fainting. Dude, he all he was doing was fainting. I swear, the more I think about it, the more I think SBG Ireland is just absolute garbage. They said that the Conor Dustin second fight or third fight was going well, and we had him right where we want him. They told Johnny Walker he was winning the fight. I mean, are they nothing but yes men? Are they genuinely nothing but yes men? Is that what's going on here? Guys, I'll be right back. I got to go blow my nose real quick, and I don't have anything nearby. So I'll be back in 1 second, and I'll talk to you guys then. All right, guys, I am back. Sorry about that. Okay. So, result. Thank you guys for sticking with me, by the way, while I went and blew my nose real quick. Results to the poll, 35% are picking Johnny Walker, 65% picking Jamal Hill. I'm with you guys. Jamal Hill wins that fight. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, cap or comparison picks. Leon. Let's see. Yeah, stop. I just seen a message while I'm scrolling up. Guys, by the way, if I ever miss your message, just send it again, but don't go too crazy. Sometimes I accidentally read a message while I'm answering a question, and then I think I already read it, and I skip over it by mistake. Let's see where I'm at. I am behind on the chat, but guys, keep filling the questions in the chat. Keep filling the chat with the questions, and I will try to read every single one of your questions like I do every single stream. I don't know how long we'll be able to do it for. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers. We get like 20 to 50 people in every live stream, so eventually it's going to be impossible, but I'm going to keep trying for as long as I can. Yeah, dude, there's a chance they might book Leon Hamza again. I'm telling you, Usman's injured. We might see. And guys, if this happens, I want you to remember this live stream. I think there is a chance we could see Leon Edwards versus Hamza Chimaev for the interim welterweight title. You heard it here first. No wonder there's no news for either. Exactly. Rod Tang versus DJ in the mixed rules match. Who do you think wins? Wasn't that canceled? I'd probably go DJ. I'm just a big believer in DJ. So, for me, it's hard to pick against him. Even though he got kneed in the face against Morales, I think his name was. If these people are calling him out, why are no fights being made? Yeah, it makes no sense. But I don't think, I think the UFC kind of stretches the truth. Hamzat's a little bit crazy on Twitter. So I think the UFC is being very selective with Hamzat because they know what kind of star that he can become. That Izzy guy fights Hamzat's. The Izzy guy is Hamzat's second biggest fan. Also the other guy. What Izzy guy? I want to see Bilal beat Hamzat and then for a title. If Bilal beat Hamzat, can you imagine all the Hamzat fans? That'd be pissed. I think they're making Hamzat versus Lukey. Lukey, you mean Luke? I'm going to start calling him Lukey. That just shows how USADA doesn't work at all. The NY Commission caught TJ when USADA couldn't for over 5 years. Exactly. Joey, how are you doing, by the way? How is the COVID situation where you live? I am doing well. The situation by where I live isn't that great. It isn't the worst. It's substantially worse than it was roughly, a month ago or so. And so it's pretty annoying, especially for me, who I take care of multiple elderly people, my grandmother and my great uncle, who are both in their 80s. So I got to be like kind of extra cautious. But hopefully, I'm hoping it gets better soon. It just kind of got out of control this last month where I live. I live in Maryland, by the way, which it's been doing pretty good for the whole entire pandemic up until this last month. So hope you were doing well as well, and hope the situation where you live is good as well. Lean out the ride. I try, but Dana won't give any hints. My guess would be Hamzat versus Bilal or Burns. If I had to guess right now, gun to my head, I say they make Hamzat versus Bilal. But I really think there's a chance we get that Hamzat versus Leon. Just because there's talk of Usman's injured and maybe they could make that for an interim title fight and they could justify it because everyone else has already fought for the belt and lost in the last year. Fights to make in 2022, Covington versus Masvidal, Jones and Ngannou, TJ versus Yan, Adesanya versus Pereira, Hamzat versus Usman, Shevchenko versus Bantamweight champ, McGregor versus Ferguson, Diaz versus Poirier. Love every single one of them, Yusuf, and I think a lot of them were on my list that I did in my video recently. You can do a process of elimination if you figure it out to a few fighters for sure. Luke's son, Bilal, gets destroyed by Hamzat, I fear. I think Bilal has a better chance of beating Hamzat than Luke does. Bilal, remember the eye poke Muhammad, should have run it back with Leon Edwards. Edwards was piecing him up. I think Edwards would have finished him. You got to rush Alex. He's getting old. How likely is Hamzat versus Jorge fight? Nobody ever brings that one up. That will never happen because, one, both of them are stars. The UFC doesn't want the other one beating the shit out of the other. But two, Hamzat is a terrible matchup for Jorge Masvidal. So I don't think it's happening. If it's Magny, I'm going to throw up. Does anyone want to see Hamzat versus Magny? Magny's going to get wrecked for sure. What's up? Thoughts on Walker versus Hill announcement? I love the fight. I think it's an amazing matchup. Great matchmaking. I'm picking Hill. Yuri only took out 2 or 3 fights to get a title shot. He only had 2 fights. But look at who he beat. Volkanovski, who was at the top of the division at the time, and Dominic Reyes. And the way he did it, he deserves a shot for sure. You going to any UFC event in the near future? Would love to go to a potential John Jones-Francis Ngannou fight, or John Jones heavyweight debut for the title. That's the event I'm kind of targeting. But I don't know. The stuff's just so expensive. I'm going to have to start a GoFundMe for my YouTube page. Send me to UFC 278 or whatever the hell it may be. And if I can get enough donations, I'm going to go there. And I'll be covering it live for you guys for the YouTube channel. Yan versus Aljo confirmed. Look at the ESPN Instant. Yes, we were talking about that earlier. Yep. Yan versus Aljo 2 and Volkanovski versus Holloway 3. I'm probably going to do a breaking news video after this stream. Volk beats Max again. Yan beats Sterling, but not as dominant as people think. Okay. Favorite striker and grappler currently in the UFC. Favorite striker currently in the UFC. Favorite striker doesn't necessarily mean the best striker. So if I had to go favorite striker, it may be also the best striker anyway. Petr Yan. I just love how technical he is. The variety of shots that he uses, his defense, the way he just uses his entire arsenal, leg kicks, body kicks, punches, just everything. Petr Yan's my favorite striker. Grappler, got to be Charles Oliveira. The way he snatches up submission attempts is just nothing short of incredible. So Charles Oliveira is my favorite grappler. Hamza mopped Hermanson in freestyle. It's possible he beats Vettori. We have no idea what Hamza gas tank is. Vettori is durable. Yeah, I don't like that Hamza-Vettori matchup at all. I think Vettori is going to be very tough to beat. He's not blowing his nose. He's doing dirty stuff. Okay. McGregor looked better. Let's see. Let's see. Now, sometimes the chat jumps all the way to the bottom. McGregor looked better in the trilogy, to be honest. Them saying Walker was up was kind of stupid. Them saying Walker was up was kind of stupid. What are you saying? I'm missing this. Okay. According to people who train at Hamza Gym, his cardio is insane. I hope it's good. I'm excited. I mean, what he did to Hermanson was very impressive. Volk beats Max again and again. Or I read that he fainted so much he almost passed out. Yeah, I think Chael Sonnen said his striking is even better. But we will see. I don't believe anything Chael Sonnen says. I seen Marino Maros is fighting at UFC 272. Do you think she will pull out again? Maybe. Interim title fight, Leon versus Hamza. Could happen. It could happen, and you'll remember this live stream. Hamza clearly has power. Hamza destroys Leon. I think Leon's a hard matchup for anybody. That's crazy though, but I'd watch the shit out of it. I know you'd be watching that. You'd be watching that pay-per-view. Assuming you can make any weight class, which division would you fight in MMA, Joey? To be honest, so when I look at the divisions, I'm just saying in a hypothetical scenario where I was a fighter. I know this sounds crazy, but if I'm hand-picking the division I fight in, I want to go for the easiest division because I want the highest probability of success. So when I look at the men's divisions, I'm thinking, what is the worst possible division? And I believe the least talented division is heavyweight. I just believe outside of that, those top few guys, Francis, Cyril Gane, Stipe, even you can throw Derek Lewis and Alexander Volkov in there. I just think the division is terrible. I mean, Marcin Tybura is ranked in the top 10. So I'd go heavyweight. So that's what I'd go with. Notice how Hamza called out everyone in the top 5 except for Luque. Yep, remember the name. In the future, we're gonna have to throw those donations. Yeah, in the future when it gets bigger, it's gonna be hard, man. I'm gonna try to read as many as I can, but also I was talking about this the other day. I'm gonna start up a membership tier where I do members only live streams. I'm gonna do regular live streams like this as well, but I'm gonna start up another tier where I do members only live streams. And then also I'm going to add it as a perk when I do my random live streams. I'm going to private them to members only after the fact. So you'll be able to watch them live, but it'll be members only rewatch. It's crazy how much the channel has grown just since I started doing these live chats a few months back. It used to be not too hard to read every comment. Now it gets hard to catch up to the chat. So, guys, I appreciate you. I love the questions. So, even if the chat, even if I get far behind, I'm trying to catch up, and I'm going to try to read every single one of your guys' questions. I think Leon versus Luca. And if you guys want to send donations, the super chat button is below, and I appreciate it. Everything goes back into the channel. I think Leon versus Luque, interim title at 271. I don't think so, man. I don't think that's, especially for a main event, I doubt it. Sean Brady called out Wonderboy in his recent interview. What are your thoughts on the matchup? I have no desire to see that. I think Sean Brady wins. Wonderboy just cannot grapple. Dang, I missed out on the stream. Yeah, and we had a lot of trolls earlier. We had a lot of trolls. It's crazy how the top 14 welterweights have no bouts announced. Yeah, I actually did a video, Usman, that says it's called welterweight matchmaking. It's not too far back. It's within the last 2 weeks. I noticed that nobody at welterweight had fights, so I went through everybody in the top 15 and gave them a fight. Since then, one fight has been announced, I believe, which is Michelle Pereira versus Muslim, or I missed it when I made the video. I don't remember. Sean Brady's cardio is trash, but Wonderboy has lost a step. I'm a Wonderboy fan, but he's seen better days. Also be a 3-round fight. Hey, Joey, Errol talked about the DP versus Diaz fight. He talked about Nate's contract being the holdup. The UFC doesn't want him to free him up with momentum. I wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me one bit. They're trying to renegotiate with Nate, and that's probably the reason the fight isn't getting announced. Hell no, Neil Magny got guillotined, but Bilal wants to fight. Why it's not happened yet? I think that maybe the UFC is being picky about who they want Hamza to fight. I could see that happening. They're more involved than you think about managing these guys' careers, especially when guys they perceive to be stars. They need to make Hamza versus Bilal, if not Burns. They would be doing Leon so bogus if they put him against Hamza before he fights for the title. I think it's a possibility, my friend. Why are people saying that Brunson Cannonier is still on 270? Did something happen? I haven't seen that. It's on 271 as far as I know. I might go to UFC fight in Columbus, but still on the fence. You have to see more of what they announced. At first, yes, but now no, just because he got submitted in the grappling match last week in 1 minute and 20 seconds. What are we talking about there? What are we talking about there? I'm not sure what we're talking about. Thank you, Avik Fett, for subscribing. Appreciate you. Interim fight would be Edwards Luque. Who do you think UFC is going to feed to the GOAT, the real GOAT, next? On a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a joke is that boxer girl to challenge the GOAT, the real GOAT? Valentina Shevchenko will fight Talia Santos. I believe she will win. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a joke it is? 10. I'm tired of these freak show wannabe fights. I think Sean Brady can beat Hamzat. I won't disagree with you. I think it's a possibility, but I would favor Hamzat for sure. Middleweight is ass. So I think Neil should get the fight. He's the only ranked guy who's called out Hamzat from the start. I do not want to see that fight at all. Are you still talking about Weili, Joanna, or have something to say? The show looks nice. Nice work. Thank you. I didn't talk about it too much yet, so I will talk about it. I just changed the title because we had some breaking news, so I wanted to add that in there, and that's the majority of what we spent the original, first hour of the stream talking about. But I've been dying to see Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk since the fight ended. I mean, it's crazy that Joanna has not fought since March of 2020. I don't know if that's a good fight to return to. I mean, it was grueling on both of them. But I love that fight. I mean, that was my favorite fight of 2020. Remember that big hematoma on Joanna's head? I think it was a very close fight. I think either girl could have got the decision. I think it was a highly technical fight. And, again, I said it was my favorite fight of 2020. Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk was the best women's female fight of all time. And I would love to see it ran back, but I don't think it's going to live up to that hype, but I still think it will be an amazing fight. I think Joanna might be biting off more than she can chew, though, after being inactive for so long. I don't know if that's a great time to come back to that fight. I think Francis Ngannou were born in the UFC. We'd be watching them on Sundays. It's why heavyweight division sucks, in my opinion. Probably. Oh, really? The one time I'm late, not here, because it started late. Yeah. Yep, I had something I had to do today, so I started at 7. But, yeah, we had a bunch of trolls in the very beginning. UFC 272 looks good. I'm excited for it, for sure. Just those top 2 fights are enough to get my money. Nate's a bit of a fake gangster. A real gangster would have already signed the fight. We don't know, man. They're all playing games. They all say ridiculous shit. The UFC's negotiating. I never believe that anyone's truly turning down a fight from the UFC's book. So I wouldn't say. I mean, Nate, at the end of the day, when Nate has fought, he's fighting the toughest possible guys. I mean, he took the Leon Edwards fight last, and everyone thought he was crazy. I think Nate's smarter than people think he is just because of the way he talks. Nate versus Dustin is a joke. Nate hasn't earned that. I mean, I don't think he needs to earn it. Dustin's coming off a loss. Nate's coming off a losing streak. The stylistic matchup is amazing, and neither guy's going to be close to a title for a while. I figured now's the time. Now, before this, I would have said he didn't earn it. The show looks great. Nice work. Thank you. Put some questions in the chat. Can you see Hamza cutting down to 155? Never, 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 never. Magny. I'm starting to catch up, guys, so keep spamming the chat. Well, not spamming, but keep throwing the chat as many questions as you can think of. We got plenty to talk about today. People really think Dustin beats Diaz, and it's embarrassing. I think the fight can be very competitive. I think Diaz has a chance to win. I would favor Dustin, but I think Diaz has a legitimate chance to win that fight. If Weili's manager, I would say no to the Joanna fight. First, we already beat her. Why would we have any other war with no title implications? There's no benefit for Weili. I think it all depends what happens with the Carla Esparza-Rose fight. Rose should have fought Carla at 268, so Marina would have gotten her title shot. I think Marina will get a title shot in 2022. If Brunson beats Jarrett, that will be another rematch for Izzy this year. I think they'll find something else. Imagine if Yuri becomes light heavyweight champion and they do Adesanya Yuri. Imagine how insane that would be. UFC 271 and 270 really aren't that good. Kind of surprising they didn't add anything. I'm a little bit surprised they haven't added anything, but I still think they're okay. You know, we got Poirier versus, I can't remember, Ivalov, I think is how you pronounce his name, which is a great fight at featherweight. I think that's on 270, and I'm hoping they still add the 271. How much of a chance you will give the Hamza to beat Usman for the belt either end of this year or early next? I'll say 60% Hamza is the champion before the end of the year. Thoughts on Chad Mendes joining Bkfc? I don't really have too many thoughts. I mean, I'm always happy to see guys make money, but at the end of the day, I don't really watch bare knuckles, so it's not really for me. That big hematoma, she looked like E.T. Yeah, she looked like Mark Hominick from when he fought Jose Aldo. Exactly, one loss versus a losing streak. It will definitely sell pay-per-views just like Oliveira Conor will. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's not for title. It's not for a title. It's not for title implications. So why not let them fight each other? It's a fun matchup. They're both high-level strikers. They're both super durable. They both have great stamina. I think it's a fun fight, and I think it's fine to match those two up. It's not like Dustin's a champion or anything. What will disgust me and what disgusted me about the Leon Edwards fight is that Dustin's put on so much of a pedestal that if Nate does beat him, they'll try to give Nate a title shot. Now, if Nate does beat Dustin Poirier, he does not deserve a title shot. I will say that right now. And that's what I'm scared of. Oh, really? Okay. Why do you have a feeling Usman is going to beat Leon then retire? Why do I have a feeling Usman is going to beat Leon and retire without ever fighting Hamza? That'd be annoying as hell. That would be annoying as hell. I hope that doesn't happen. Marina will be champion at the end of the year. Maybe she will. Go, if you guys haven't, after this live stream, go watch my video that called Every Champion That Will Lose Their Title in 2022. And I break down every division and what will happen with the division in 2022. And who I think will be a champion at the end of the year. I did it like last week or so. So it's pretty relevant on the channel. Andre Muniz top 5 by the end of 2022. I think he's a problem for everyone. Andre Muniz has some slick jiu-jitsu and submission skills. There's actually some fun up-and-coming guys within middleweight. We have Andre Muniz and Nasruddin Imavov, I think is how you pronounce his name. Number 13 and number 12, ironically. I hope the UFC doesn't match them up against each other, though. Marina is like plus 650 to be champion at the end of the year, 2022. Definitely a good bet. It all depends if she can get the title shot, injuries, what stuff like that. But I think that she has a legitimate shot. I think they're still going to add fights to 270, 271. I think they do to 271, but for 270, I feel like it's a lost cause at this point. because they need time to promote it. So unless they announce it like tomorrow, you know, yeah, I'm going to be way higher than up than usual and damn near nosebleeds. That sucks. Yeah, it's like $300 tickets. So stupid. Someone said it. Imagine Hamza dominates everyone at welterweight and middleweight. How crazy would that be? That'd be insane. That'd be absolutely insane. Can you see a 55er going down to beat Volkanovski or Petr Yan going up to beat him? I don't think Petr Yan can go up and beat him, even though I'm very, very high on Petr Yan. Going down from 55, I just don't see who can do it. I don't see who's going down, you know? I don't see anyone that can make 45. You know, Dustin, there's no way Dustin's making 45 anymore. Gaethje's not going down to 45, I don't think. Oliveira, to be honest, I think Volkanovski could move up and potentially beat Oliveira. That's how high I am on Volkanovski. So, to answer your question, no, I don't see anyone beating Volkanovski anytime soon, other than maybe a Giga Chikadze. So, for some reason, I think Max will win and we'll get a fourth fight. Imagine he wins and we don't get a fourth fight. Usman don't want to fight Hamza. I'm going to sleep. Night, guys. Good night, my friend. Thank you, Ginge. Thank you. Yep, guys, make sure you like the stream. What chance do you give Santos of beating the GOAT? What are the chances to give the GOAT of beating Jones' title defense record? She needs 6 more. Santos winning, I say 10 to 15%. As far as Jones' title defense record, I'll say it's 50-50. That's a lot of defenses without falling off a cliff. Will Johnny Walker finally start his way to the top? No, I think he'll lose to Jamal Hill. Hamza versus Colby would be sick. I'd love it, but it's not going to happen. How gangster would it be if Cejudo, if he comes out of retirement and beats Volk in his first fight back? Never going to happen. Cejudo's going to lose that fight. The UFC ain't even going to give him that fight. Cejudo thinks he's this huge draw, but he's not. The UFC event in Detroit was a crazy card. What was on that card? I think you've told me before, but I've since forgot. Okay, Ginge, I will check. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. The thing is right here, but it's at MMA Joey C. Follow me on Instagram at MMA Joey C as well. Let me see what you sent me, Ginge. Yes. Okay, I'll message you back after the live stream, Ginge, and see. I'll have to look into it. Typically, how good is Conor really? Fanboy question. You see Conor upsetting the whole division and jumping in front of Gaethje and Dariush Makhachev winner. How good is Conor really? Fanboy question. I think there's a significant chance he could jump in front of everyone and get a Charles Oliveira shot. But how good is he? I think he loses to majority of the top 10. I think he loses to Oliveira. I think he loses to Gaethje. I think he loses to Dustin again. I think he loses to Beneil. I think he loses to Islam. I think he loses to Chandler, but he has a chance to beat Chandler. I think he loses to Dos Anjos. I think he has a little bit more of a chance to beat Dos Anjos. I think he loses to Ferguson, but I would give him a little bit higher probability of beating Ferguson than I would the rest. I think he beat Dan Hooker, and I think he loses to Gregor Gillespie. I think he loses to Rafael Fiziev, and probably lose to Mateus Gamrot as well. So to answer your question, I don't think McGregor is all that great, but yes, I believe he could get a title shot in 2022, and Dana White would justify it, a million different ways. Johnny Walker's today's version of Eric Silva got everyone hyped and then got whooped up by real competition. Good assessment. But also Eric Silva, his body started to change significantly out of nowhere. And, it's hard not to question what was that from. Talia Santos will be Shevchenko's toughest test to date, in my opinion. She's the real deal. I'm excited to see it. She had a dominant win in her last fight, but not against the greatest opponent. If Figueroa loses to Moreno, I could see him moving to 35, and Petr Yan would be crazy. I don't think he makes it to Petr Yan. I think he would lose to a lot of those top 35ers. Which undefeated fighters will lose this year? My pick is John Jones. Who else is undefeated? I don't even remember. You're going to have to fill me in. Who else is undefeated, my friend? Let me know. Would Cejudo's 20% to beat Volk or not even? Would you give Cejudo 20% to beat Volk or not even? I don't know why I have a feeling he could. He just has to have enough power at featherweight. So, since I didn't have a channel then, I'll tell you this now. If you guys remember, in the lead up to Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw at flyweight, nobody thought Henry Cejudo had a chance to win. Most people were picking TJ Dillashaw. I was confident that Henry Cejudo would beat TJ Dillashaw. I thought the weight cut would be too much. The speed disadvantage would be too much. Henry Cejudo, decent enough wrestling, decent enough striking. And sure enough, Henry Cejudo went out there and stopped him. Now, I do not think he has a chance in hell to beat Volk. I would put it at a less than 5% chance. I think less than 5% chance he beats Volk. So, but I'm just trying to tell you, I believed in him against TJ Dillashaw. I do not believe in him against Volk. Who do you actually think Conor fights next? It's got to be Diaz or Ferguson. It's got to be. And I would love those matchups. Maybe Chandler as well. Who would you rather see fight Chandler, Poirier or Ferguson? Who would you rather see fight Chandler, Poirier or Ferguson? I love both of them, to be honest, but I'll say Poirier only because I want to see Ferguson fight Conor, or I want to see Ferguson fight Diaz. So, Fiziev versus Chandler, what's your pick? I got Rafael Fiziev. And if you guys remember early on in the channel, somebody asked me, who are some guys that you could see right now that aren't even ranked that could be potential future champions within their divisions? And I said Rafael Fiziev. If anybody in this live stream remembers that, I said it back in like May of this year. Somebody asked me that question in the live stream and I answered it. So if anyone can vouch for me, let them know in the chat. I said Rafael Fiziev had championship potential early in 2021. And I think Fiziev beats Chandler. I think Chandler's too chinny. Hamza and Brady both undefeated. I want to see them clash. I think Hamza beats Brady. I'll say Brady loses in 2022. I think McGregor will get owned by DeBronx, but I think he wouldn't be impossible for McGregor to clip him and knock him out. What do you think? I agree 100% with that assessment. Charles Oliveira is very hittable. Eventually, one of these punches is going to put him out, and McGregor has great power. And Oliveira is going to pressure him, too, so he leaves himself open. So I think it's a real possibility. But I would pick DuBronx to take him down and submit him. Cejudo is a beast, but Volkanovski a different level. Agreed. Are we counting DQs? Very true. Matt Hamill has the win over John Jones. I see Jessica I being released from the UFC if she loses to Manon. Your thoughts, please. I agree. Jessica I mean, all she is doing is taking up space at this point. What kind of streak is she on? Let me look it up real quick. On a 3-fight losing streak. Ooh, yeah, she's definitely getting cut if she loses to Manon Firat. Who will be the best pound for pound at the end of the year? I'll say John Jones. Well, Evilov versus Poirier are both undefeated, so one of them got to lose at 270. Yeah, early prediction, I'll go to Poirier. But I'm going to dig deeper into that and make a full breakdown and prediction. Ferguson versus McGregor will be the best matchup. I love that fight. I want to see that fight happen. Confirmed Yan versus Aljo 2 and Max for Volk 3 March 5th. I think Shavkat Ramonov can be a champ. I feel like a lot of people are super high on him, but he just hasn't fought anyone yet, man. It's hard to say. But I'm actually going to make a video just reacting to the Yan Aljo news for anyone who wasn't in the live stream. I'm going to make it right after I end this live stream. Will we see John Jones fight again this year, though? Yes, he will fight for the heavyweight belt summer of 2022. You heard it here first. I truly believe that that will happen. I'm very confident that that will happen. And even if it's not summer this year, he will fight this year, 100%. Whew. Guys, if you haven't already, go like the stream. If you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. Next week, I will finally be putting out more prediction videos. I might do a prediction video since I got extra time anyway. I might do prediction videos for the top 3 fights. Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze, Michelle Pereira, Muslim Sakharov, and Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin. Can't promise anything, but that's what I'm looking at so far. I really enjoy doing prediction videos. They're my favorite thing to do. I agree. When we found out someone can defend against Oliveira's BJJ, he will lose, but that's going to be tough to beat. Agreed. I've been on the Oliveira train forever. Paddy the Batty is overrated. He has slow hands and fights with his chin in the air. The debut wasn't all that impressive. I agree. But it's too early to tell, man. Guys get better lightning fast. Charles Oliveira was getting better for years, every single fight. So you never know. You know, is Talia going to be a problem at 125? Maybe a problem for everyone but the champ. But it's hard to say. If Gane wins, they will make Jones fight. Does it make Jones was ducking Ngannou? No, I don't think it does. I think regardless of who wins that fight, I think Jones will fight him this year. We will see John Jones versus Cyril Gane or John Jones versus Francis Ngannou, which I am particularly hyped for either one of those matchups. Yeah, Ian Gary, I think Ian Gary's even worse than Paddy the Baddy, in my opinion. I mean, he was getting clipped up. And you know, the guy saying, I mean, I know you got to believe in yourself. He's saying he's going to be, you know, the next Conor. He's going to be a 2-division champ. That fight against, I forgot even the guy's name he's fighting with the weird wonky hair. He was getting beat up pretty badly and just landed a nasty power shot that saved him in that fight. Thoughts on Michel Pereira fight? Early prediction going with Michel Pereira. I just think he's super dynamic on the feet. But he does have a little bit of trouble with wrestlers. And, you know, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got to go back and watch some Muslim tape because it's been a bit. It's been a bit. You know, his last fight was Francisco Trinaldo. Before that was some guy. Yeah, so Muslim's resume is just absolutely garbage. Garbage resume. So I got to go back and watch some tape. But early prediction, I think Michel Pereira probably wins that fight. Like the show. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you, Avik Fet. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Sup, lads. What's up, Taco Johns? Next matchup for Geary. I don't know how to spell his name, but the Irish welterweight prospect. Let me see if I can conjure up a name for you. Let me see. Who would I like to see him fight next? Let's see. I'm looking at, there's a rankings website where you can look at like the top 50 guys. So I'm going to try to see who I would like to see him fight in that top 50. Because my guess is he's probably somewhere in there. Okay. He's actually number 51. So let's see who we got for him. Who do we got for him? Ooh. That's a terrible. I wouldn't mind him seeing him fight like somebody like Alex Oliveira. But Alex Oliveira's on a 3-fight losing streak, so I don't know how much that does for him. Maybe a Danny Roberts. I would like a Danny Roberts fight or a Max Griffin fight. I'll say Danny Roberts or Max Griffin, but there's a lot of excellent matchups for him, especially when you're that far down. I don't want to see him go up and fight a Matt Brown or Alex Morono. I don't think he's even ready for like a Miguel Baeza. I think Miguel Baeza would destroy him right now. You could also do a Randy Brown fight, but he's kind of, you know, I think that's a little step above his competition right now, who he should be fighting. So to answer your question, Alex Oliveira, Danny Roberts, Max Griffin, somewhere around there. I think all three of those matchups would make a lot of sense for him. But you know, I'm not a big believer in him right now. You hear that Ngannou wants to go out and box while in the UFC? That's what's holding up the deal. I don't feel like the UFC's ever going to go for that. Ever. Andre Muniz versus Vettori, your pick. That is an excellent matchup, my friend. An excellent matchup. What are you reading? What did you see, Ginge? I missed it. Thank you, Sean Johnson, for deleting whatever that was. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I just seen that. Removed by Sean Johnson. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. But yeah, I don't want to. Andre Muniz versus Vettori. That's a tough pick. I'll probably go Vettori. But Andre Muniz is just so slick with the jiu-jitsu. I'll probably go Vettori, but I would like to see Andre Muniz win. By the time Jones fights, it will be 3 years of not fighting. I think that's a lot. I think if Gane beats Francis pretty... I think that's a lot. I think if Gane beats Francis pretty easily, he should be able to beat Jones too. Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like about John. Jones. Jones has been super inactive. Colby versus Poirier this year, I highly doubt it. We need Colby versus Masvidal. Uh, what am I reading? Don't be an idiot. Yeah, don't be an idiot, man. If he keeps sending nasty shit like that, just hit hide user from channel. Because then he'll never be able to participate in the live streams again. It's just annoying that we can't sit here and have fun, educated MMA discussion without some dumb ass shit in the chat from idiots. And again, it's not the biggest of deal, but you're just ruining the conversation for others. So appreciate you, Sean, for getting rid of that. Thank you, Ginge, for telling him not to be an idiot. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Please, God, make this happen. I think it will happen. I think Oliveira beats Gaethje, and I think Islam beats Beneil, and we will see it. We will see it this year. This guy's saying Balker shit. Yeah, so ban him. I don't just start wielding that ban hammer. I agree regarding Ian Gary. He was getting beat up by a guy who doesn't cut weight due to health condition. Therefore, the fights with heavier guys, also not a great fighter. Yeah, I don't think he's going to last. A lot of guys, it's too early to tell. Yeah. I think it's too early to tell because he could obviously make improvements. There's other guys that we've seen who look terrible that make improvements, especially young guys. But I didn't like what I saw in that debut. I'm not the only one, but Usman versus Chimaev is so intriguing to me. Agreed. It's super intriguing. Yeah, who you got? Islam versus DuBronx. I think it's the most intriguing fight at lightweight now, assuming they both win. I think I got DuBronx. I think he's able to pull off a submission. Islam's just, he's got good takedowns, but I think he leaves himself susceptible, and Oliveira has lightning fast submissions. Who is the undefeated guy who wears that hat like Khabib used to? I don't know if he's undefeated, but maybe you're talking about Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, ban him because they just get worse. Yep. Don't be insensitive about ridiculous shit. We're all good. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it, my friend. What's next for Gaethje if he loses to Oliveira? I don't know, man. He's going to be in a tough place, but he's always got exciting fights coming up. We could see him fight Beneil Dariush if he loses. We could see him get that Dustin rematch. We could see him fed to a Rafael Fiziev. We could see, I definitely don't want to see Tony Ferguson. We could see a Dos Anjos fight. There's plenty of options for him. How do you rate UFC 2021? I don't think it was the best year of fights. Just average? I thought 2021 was probably the best year of MMA we've ever gotten. Bro. That was an amazing year. Let's just look at some of these events. Let's look at some of these. And I'm only talking about main events here. List of events. Let's look at these events, man. I think it was definitely above average. Holloway versus Cater, great fight. Poirier, McGregor 2, amazing fight. Usman versus Burns, amazing fight on paper and in real life. I'm just looking at, some of the ones that Blachowicz versus Adesanya, Nunes versus Megan Anderson, Aljo versus Piotr Jan, great fight. Miocic versus Ngannou 2, great fight on paper and, big stakes. Whittaker fighting Gastelum, great win. Usman Masvidal 2, that card was insane. I would give 2021 a solid A-. Could have been a little bit better, but I think some of the best fights we've ever seen. And I think leading us into 2022, I think that 2022 is set up to be the best of the best as far as UFC talent. And, for me, what I care about is seeing the best fight the best. Not about all these storylines, stuff like that. We also got Usman versus Covington 2. We got UFC 267 was phenomenally stacked. So I give 2021 a solid A, and I think 2022 could be even better. Joey, don't feed the trolls by talking about what they're doing in the video. Just have your mods drop the ban hammer. Done. But sometimes I just happen to read and react in real time. But yeah, I know what you mean. Don't react to them because that's what they want. What are your thoughts on Cejudo as a fighter and his skills? I think he's a great fighter. I think he will never be champion anywhere but flyweight. And I think he thinks he draws more than he actually does. 2019 and 2021 were some of the best UFC in history. Yeah, I think 2021 was phenomenal. I don't remember exactly what went on in 2019. 2021 was the best years for the UFC ever and for us fans. I really hope Glover doesn't beat Yuri. Yuri's chin. Hello, hit me please. I love him though. He's a crazy mofo. I want Yuri to win. I think Yuri's super fun to watch. Shavkat had a different style from his home. Hello, Joey. Israel Adesanya versus Yuri Prochazka or Rockage. I love that fight. I actually just mentioned that not that long ago. I said I want to see Israel Adesanya versus Yuri Prochazka. I mean, Yuri, imagine him wading in with his crazy style and Adesanya with his super technical kickboxing. Would love to see that super fight in the future. Will there be more Russian champions this year than Americans or Brazilians? I will say no. I will say no. We're not getting one at flyweight. We'll get one at bantamweight. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Maybe actually, you may be right. Because Piotr Jan, we won't get one at lightweight. No, he's not. He's not. We won't get one at welterweight. We won't get at middleweight. We won't get one at light heavyweight. And won't get one at heavyweight. So we'll only have one. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of Americans. So, who am I predicting? You might, so you might actually just be right. So, who is Rose considered American? Is Juliana considered American? I'm going to say no because I think there'll be at least 2 Brazilian champions. Nunes will have at least 1 belt and Charles Oliveira. So, I'll say the answer is no, my friend. I agree Gaethje won't win. Who do you think can beat Usman by finish? Hamza Chimaev. And I'm hyped for that fight. No, not Marab. I forgot his name, but he's undefeated for sure. Are you talking about his brother or his cousin? I can't remember which one it is. Umar Nurmagomedov, I think it is. No, maybe. I think they should make Colby versus Chimaev real soon. If Chimaev dominates, he gets Usman right away. I don't think Colby wants that fight. I don't think the UFC wants that fight. Borjachina is coming back to the top in 2021. Mark my words. That fight against Vittori was amazing. But I know what you meant, 2022. Did Joaquin Phoenix kick happen this year or last year? That's got to be the best KO in the UFC opinion. It happened in 2020, so technically 2 years ago. I hate that knockout. I never want to see it again. It's burned into my mind. I love Colby fights. Always a banger, win or lose, for sure. Rose born in Wisconsin. What's the earliest memories of MMA? What made you become a fan? First fight card I ordered was Rampage Jackson versus Rashad Evans. Other than that, I'd casually seen like highlights and stuff. But the thing that really sold me as a lifetime fan was not Israel. I almost said Israel Adesanya. For some reason, I was thinking of a different fight. Was Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen 1. For Chael Sonnen to beat the living shit out of him for 4.5 rounds just to get triangle choked in the end, it sold me as a fan for life. I absolutely loved it. And that's really when I started ordering. I don't think I've missed an event since then. Definitely haven't missed a pay-per-view since then. Yeah, guys, put in the chat, what made you become an MMA fan? What made you become an MMA fan? Put that in the chat before I go. We're going to get ready and end the chat soon. Mohamed Mokaev, the guy that just signed with the UFC. Didn't he just sign with the UFC? Could Charles beat Usman? Absolutely not. Charles too undersized. He wouldn't be able to get Usman down. Usman wouldn't take him down. Usman would probably outstrike him on the feet or clinch him and beat him up on the clinch. Imagine Hamza carrying Usman yelling at Dana, bring me Ngannou and finishes him. That'd be crazy. His only loss in his career is by standing rear naked the same way Charles beat Dustin. Very true. Very true, but I just believe the size difference is just massive. I mean, Kamaru Usman is so much bigger than Charlie Olives. I believe GSP versus Sarah was the fight that got me in MMA. Yeah, I don't know if there was really a fight for me. It was just the one that sold me as a hardcore was Anderson versus Chael 1. I mean, to see that triangle choke was insane. Boxing became too corrupt and political, and UFC was making the best fights. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. All right, guys. The fight that made me a fan, MMA fan, was Korean Zombie versus Garcia 1 in WEC. Rousey versus Holm was my first fight, but UFC 205 made me a diehard fan. Yeah, UFC 205 was incredible. I remember on UFC 205, I was so excited for Yoel Romero versus Jacare Souza. I don't know, man. The power of Usman. Charles got dropped by Dustin. Imagine Usman landed on him. Yes, it wouldn't be pretty. Yeah, it'd be too big, too strong, too powerful. Usman would definitely win. Could Cyril Gain cut down to 205? I don't think so. I don't think so. Did a lot out of hand combat fighting in the military. Makes sense. Makes sense. Usman could overpower Oliveira. When have you seen power trump technique before? I mean, it's just he's too big. You know, when everything else could be, you know, relatively even, he's just too big for him. You know, Oliveira's not a big lightweight by any means. You know, there's the guys that are much longer than him at lightweight, let alone welterweight. I mean, yeah, let alone welterweight. Remember the Ronda hype? Yeah, remember when they were showing her hitting mitts and acting like she was a world-class boxer? Oh my God. Whew, those were terrible times. I remember she looked terrible hitting the mitts, and they were acting like she looked like Floyd Mayweather. Do you think Gaethje's power KO Usman? Maybe, but he would get out wrestled. Do you think Gaethje? Okay, yeah, too big. Yep. Well, all right, guys. I appreciate you joining me for the live stream. I'm gonna make a video real quick talking about UFC 272. If you guys want to go check that out after this, it'll be up within the next half hour or so. I can't believe it's already 8:30. I started this live stream a little bit late. I appreciate every single person that joined me today and put questions in here. Thank you, Sean Johnson, for becoming a moderator, man. You're in all these streams, so it just made perfect sense. You helped me out today, and I'm sure you'll help me out in the future. Appreciate all you guys. If you have any questions that I missed, comment down below if you're watching this replay. And let me see what you guys are saying. Poirier versus Holloway. Holloway is more technical, but Poirier is more power. Was too much. Agreed. I had started training kickboxing in 2008 and wanted to watch some fights. Started watching old videos of Vanderlei and Pride, Passion at first sight. 14 years in MMA and counting. I remember my friends showed Matt Matran versus Kimbo to me, and some other stuff when I really started following was, I guess, around Conor versus Mendes. Ronda would still be champ right now if she just clinched instead of boxing. Yeah. Remember when Joe Rogan said Rousey would beat Cain Velasquez? Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate every single one of you. I will probably do a random stream maybe on Friday or Saturday. If not, guys, make sure you go watch my UFC 272 video, which will be coming out in the next half hour. And I want to see every single one of you comment on it and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week.